Hello, my name is Mark Glatzer. I'm one of the powerlifting coaches for the Long Island powerlifting team, Ironmen. And today I'm going to show you how to make a simple powerlifting platform. And the idea behind these platforms is to protect the gymnasium floors. Typically, we do our powerlifting events in school gymnasiums with beautiful parquet floors, and we want to protect them. And this is how we're going to do it. These are the tools needed. The most important tool is a battery-powered impact gun, and I also use a battery-powered drill. There's a difference between the two. One has a chuck on it that accepts drill bits. The other has a speed release chuck, which also will accept a special drill bit. Anyway, I use a chalk line, and the next most important thing is a tape measure and squares. There are three types of squares. This is a simple hand square that all carpenters are familiar with, and if you're not, this is a hand square. Next, this is just called a square, plain old square. And this, everybody should be familiar with, is a T-square. They come in different lengths. This is a 4-foot T-square. Okay, so supplies needed. Those are the tools required. Supplies needed. These are studs that are 2x4. They all started out to be 8 feet long. These I pre-cut to 92 5/8 inches long. You can buy in Home Depot or other Lowe's or other lumber yards, you can buy pre-cuts already. Sometimes they're a little more expensive, but I just bought all 2x4x8s, 11 of them, and cut 9 of them to 92 5/8 inches long, and then left 2 of them at 2x4x8. Those will be the 2 ends. And I'm going to show you how to mark out and pre-drill the 2 end ones. It's a simple enough matter when you know what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to show you now. I'm simply going to take my tape measure and magic marker. And these things are 8 feet long. A typical wall, by the way, you put the studs at 16 inches apart. I'm making this a little stronger to really protect that gymnasium floor, so there's no danger of a 400 or 500 pound weight going through this floor. So I'm spacing them 1 foot apart. So we're going to start at the end here, and you have to start in 3/4 of 1 inch from the end. So I make my first mark at 3/4 of an inch from the end, but thereafter they're all at the 1 foot mark. So 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That last one at the 8 is also 3/4 of an inch in from the end, so the screws can go into the stud. Okay, and next I'm going to mark them out. After I've marked the 1 foot mark, I'm going to subtract or add. I'm going to subtract 3/4 of an inch, so this is 11 1/4, or I'm going to add. So this is at the 12 inch mark, then 12 3/4. So I have 3/4 of an inch on either side, so I know exactly where that stud is going. It's going between those 3 lines, right dead center, between those 3 lines. Okay, so in order to get them screws to go in nice and straight, I'm going to pre-drill them. While they're nice and flat on the ground, I'm going to pre-drill the holes straight up and down, so the screws, when you turn it vertically, will go straight into those studs, not at an angle, but nice and straight in, because I've pre-drilled them. Now I'm going to take a 1/2 inch drill, and I'm simply going to drill 2 holes at the 3/4 inch mark. 1, 2, about 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch in from the ends of the 2x4. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And the purpose of this square is to line everything up nice and straight. After I've made my marks, my 3 marks, I'll use this square to simply make my lines nice and straight. And I can do 2 at a time this way. Remember, I made the center mark 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. So I'll draw that line first, and then 3/4 of an inch to this side of the line and 3/4 of an inch to that side of the line. I'm going to draw another line. And then I'm simply going to take the drill along the center line and make these holes as vertical as I can with a drill with about an 1/8 inch bit. Okay? Now I've done that to this whole length, but I think you get the idea. So, next is to take these 2 studs that I've already pre-drilled and put them up against the end here and try to square it up a bit. I'll turn it this way so the camera can see. I'm putting them between these 2 lines, but now I'm going to turn it back this way so I see it. And I'm going to line it up with the end stud right at the end here. And I'm going to try and square it a little bit with this kind of square. Alright? And this should follow along nicely on both sides of the square so that the whole thing is ready to accept a piece of plywood, which should be square. And I'll bring these up. Same thing on the other end. Same exact. Back up. Go ahead. I want to put it down at that end. Same thing at this end. I'm going to face it out so you see I'm putting the studs right between these lines. And I'm going to square this end as well. Okay. There's the basic design. Fairly simple. It's like building a wall, only on the floor. And then, next thing you need is screws and a screw gun. I like to use 3 or 3.5 inch deck screws with a Torx head. And this is the 3/4 inch screws. That's what you need the gun for. The impact gun makes life much easier. It's fun opening these boxes. And they come with a brand new Torx head inside, packaged in every one, so you don't have to worry about buying a separate Torx head for these screws. And they're 3 inches long, and they fit. That Torx head goes right into your gun. Quickly, it snaps right in. And now right through the holes that you've pre-drilled, you take a 3-inch screw and screw it together. I like to do the ends first. The 2 ends, and then make all the others line up. Impact guns makes things so much better, faster, and that's it. And we're going to screw them all in the same exact way. I'll go to the other end for the exact same thing. In fact, here's a simple trick too. If you wanted to start it like this and go a little bit in, that also makes life a little easier. You can pre-start them. Just set them in a few turns before you begin. Before you set it up vertically, while it's in this flat position, horizontal position, you can line them all up. Makes life go a little faster. Okay? Right in. Right in. Line it up. Up. I want to do the ends first. I can do this one
Mark,
while I'm here.
Mark, the camera's flashing red. Mark,
Okay.
Mark,
Yes.
the camera's flashing a little red dot now.
Okay.
Does that mean it's running out of space or
I
something?
guess. All right. The camera's flashing, so I'm gonna speed ahead and pretend we just did them all. We screwed them all in, both ends. Next comes the plywood. Okay. We're gonna take our sheet of plywood, lay it horizontally across, not vertically. Horizontally across. Maybe you can see these chalk lines from last year. Maybe you can't. So you have several options. If you have a chalk line, fine. And if not, here's what you're going to do. If you don't have a chalk line, make a mark after you've lined it up nicely with the edge. Make it nice and straight. Straight along the edge. Straight along that edge. Bring it a little in, not to the end. Take your magic marker, make your line right in the center of the stud. Over here, and at each of the 8, make your line, this end and this end. Now, whatever you use, I don't care what you use, a chalk line, a T-square, or another straight edge board. An 8-foot 2x4 is fine. You're going to take that, once you've made all your lines at each end of the board, now you can use a chalk line. I'll put both boards on so you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Same process. If you don't have a chalk line, leave a little space, mark the ends right down the center where you're going to screw your screws. Right down the center. Both ends. If you have a chalk line, you don't have to go through all of this. You merely do the 2 ends. Take your chalk line, shake it up so it's got some chalk on it. This has a little clip on the end to hold it. Bring it to your marks, your 2 marks. Lift near the center, pop it, and now you see where you're going to make your screws on each one.
Can't see that.
Can't see that?
No, well, maybe if I zoom in really far.
All right. If you
Yeah, now
can't
you
see
can
it on
see
the
it.
video, take my word for it, it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
And if not,
It's there, Mark.
we're going to go over it in
Mark, it's there. I can
magic
see
marker.
it. I can see it.
Okay.
I just had to be closer.
I'll do another one. Same thing. I'm going to pull it taut. Pop it one time. Now you have a nice straight line where you're going to make your screws.
Okay.
Now, you can put the screws 1 foot apart. Simple stuff. This is not brain surgery. So, I'm going to bring it to the end. Now, square it. It's at the end. I'll bring the other one tight. Okay? And take your ruler, your tape measure rather. and make your marks at 1 foot. Now, if you start at the end, take your magic marker and every 1 foot make a mark. That's where your screws are going to go to screw the deck down. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, well, 4 foot is there, 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot. Same thing on that end. If you have a chalk line, makes life easy. I'm going to go to this end, same story. 1 foot, 2 foot. 1 foot, 2, 3, 4 in the middle, 5, 6, 7. And we can take the chalk line or an 8-foot board, a nice straight. If you have a straight extra piece of 2x4, you don't need the chalk line. A straight 2x4 does the same thing. Lay it down on your 2 marks that you've just created and draw your line straight across. And now, at the point of intersection of those lines, you can make an X if you like, and that's where your screws are going to go to screw the plywood to the studs. Now you're going to take your Torx gun and you're going to use 1 5/8" deck screws. Before we used 3-inch deck screws to screw the studs in. Now I'm going to use 1 5/8". It also has another
You're at,
Torx bit in there.
you're at almost 18 minutes.
Okay. And at every intersection, you can hear it. You can hear the difference. You know you're right into the stud. I always start at the 2 ends and the corners, all 4 corners, to keep it square so it doesn't shift while you're doing this. So start at the 4 corners to keep it from shifting. And that's it. Then just simply take your chalk line or your 2x8, make all your other lines. This one shifted a little bit already. Yeah. So did this guy. All right. Okay, now that's back in place. That one's pretty good. I gotta loosen that in. No, that's pretty good. About a 1/4 inch off, that's nothing. Because you're going to top this off with rubber. 3/4 inch rubber pads. They're about 1.5 foot or 2 foot squares of rubbers. They interlock like a puzzle. And Dick's Sporting Goods sells those. All right, so there's your basic platform. Like I said, you can use a stud. I like to use the chalk line. It's easier and faster. I'll put it at the 1 foot mark. Go straight across. Helps if you have a partner holding it sometimes.
Instead of holding the camera.
And I'm used to doing it by myself. So I pull it tight, lift, pop it, and there we go. Now you have your grids. They're all 1 foot grids. And at the intersection, you're gonna make all your screw everything down. If you want, make an X. So the next person doesn't have a big measuring job to do. When you take it apart and you put it together next year, the pattern is laid out for you. And that's it for today. I don't have the rubber squares here. Signing off, Mark Glatzer for Long Island Ironmen. Hope this made life easy for making a powerlifting platform. Thank you.